What's up guys, MetalFan230 here, and today we talk Symbolic by Death. Now, oddly enough, the song came out quite a little while after Individual Thought Patterns. Individual Thought Patterns came out in 1983, I believe. The song came out in 1985. I was only 1 year old at the time, but yeah. A lot of things to talk about this album. Once again, the lineup got changed, yet again. Obviously, the only two guys are probably pretty much similar to the Individual Thought Patterns lineup. It was obviously Chuck Hooper on all the albums. And we had Gene Hoglan from the last album. But apparently they got a new guitarist and a new bassist. Let's talk about the new bassist. They got another bassist, they got, I think, his name's Kelly Compton. I think Steve DiGiorgio actually left the band or was fired or something. But actually, funny enough, for those of you who don't know, Steve DiGiorgio actually played bass on some of the demos on this album, on some tracks. If you got the special, sort of like the 2008 re-release of Symbolic. He played some on the demos, but they got Kelly Compton. He's a pretty good bassist, I have to say. And they also got a new guitarist, Bobby Koibu. Yeah, I'm going to mispronounce it, but I give a shit. I'm just kidding. He's a pretty good guitarist, I have to say. Now, this album sounds probably the best that Death had ever done. It's a tie between that and the last album and The Sound of Perseverance, but yeah, it sounds pretty good. It sounds very clear, and it has sort of a big thing. It's hard to say, but yeah. And the guitars also sound sharp as well. Notably, you could tell that the guitars sound pretty much dueling and sort of pretty clear and awesome. And even this is also, I believe, where Chuck started changing his voice a bit, where it sort of had more of the higher pitched voice a bit. This was probably the most melodic album then. Sounding pretty good. There's a lot of melodic parts in there. There sounds kind of like melodic death metal like Children of Bodom or some other bands to come in the future. Sure, but it sounds different, way more melodic than Sound of Perseverance, where it's more technical and progressive. But this is still one of their also heavier albums. It's still one of my personal favorites. But also I want to talk about each song structure. Sure, the song structures, I feel like it went more of a slower songs, about 6 to 8 minutes long, but it's still pretty good. It sounds pretty much, the tempo is slower. It's like mainly of the traditional death metal. Sounds pretty good. It's good. It's more traditional sounding. It's more melodic and structured. That's pretty much what all this album, of course. But enough of me of rambling around. Let's talk about this album, of course. Now the album opens up with the first song, which is the title track, which is Symbolic, which starts off with an amazing guitar thing, but it actually picks up good, and it's very technical sounding. It's also a good way to start this album, of course. Next song is called Zero Tolerance, which has a good intro, little drum intro, of course. It's pretty good, and it's also one of the slower pace song on this album. It also has a bit of a melodic guitar parts in there. It's pretty good. It also has a fantastic chorus in there. It's a good song. And then next song is called Empty Words, which is pretty much an interesting song. It has a good intro, which is interesting, of course. It also it's also very slow, but then it picks up good, and it has a lot of good groove and a good melody to it. It also has a lot of good chord progressions. I think Chuck Schuldiner knows pretty much his shit, basically. Knows how to do good chord progressions. It's another good song. Next song is called Sacred Serenity, which is one of the best songs on this album. I think this is my favorite song of this album. And I think it's like the main highlight of this album. It has a lot of good intro and a very good melodies and sort of dueling parts, guitar solo parts. Sounds pretty good. Next song is called 1,000 Eyes. It's another good song. So it has a lot of cool riffs, and it's another one of the stronger songs on the album. It's a pretty good song. Next song is called Without Judgement, which is a pretty good song. It has a cool intro, of course. And it sounds very progressive, and it also has some good leads. It also has a lot of a melodic interlude to it. It's another good song. Next song is called Crystal Mountain, of course. Well, a lot of people would know, though this song is pretty good and distinctive. And it has a very good catchy chorus. So it's a pretty good song. It also ends with sort of an acoustic guitar. It sounds very beautiful. Full in a way, it sounds pretty good. Next song is called Misanthrope, which is another amazing song. It has a good sound to it, and it sounds very technical. Cool. The last on the album is called Perennial Quest, which is extremely progressive. It's very long. It's almost 8.5 minutes long. But to me, I only have one minor nitpick. I mean, it can be a bit too long at times. But overall, that's a good song. I'd say it also has another acoustic ending. Now, overall, this is another great album from Death. It's probably it has a lot of most consistent. Now, Death are pretty much one of the most consistent bands in history. Sort of like they had a big evolution with every album they've done. Then people would hold up this album and Sound of Perseverance due to it being a little bit same but different in a way, whereas this album has more melody, where Sound of Perseverance has more technicality to it. But it's an excellent album, of course. But there is another minor nitpick, but there's some parts that could be a bit teeny repetitive, just a little bit. Not all the songs are bad. I like the song. It's a perfect album. But some songs can be a little bit too long. Like there's a difference between long and then too long. But overall, Symbolic is just a great album from start to finish. It's a great album. So anyway, I'm going to give Symbolic by Death a 9.5 out of 10. It's a great album. Just go check it out. I probably will listen to it soon. Later, guys.